I want to go home. Oh, wait, I am home.
Yeah, unfortunate for you. Me, on the other hand, I can walk out of here.
Welcome to the BS Show. My name is Steven.
And my name is Brandon.
And today we are going to be talking about being your authentic self.
Yeah.
And before we get started, we just wanted to let you guys know, please leave a comment or like on the video. It definitely helps us out, go a long way.
Yes.
We are trying to get places, and, just a simple like even goes a long way.
Yeah.
Because we're broke.
Instead of making 9 cents, we can make like 10.
Yeah. We can make
So
10 cents.
if you guys like us, like the video, right? I'm saying that in a threatening tone. It's not meant to be threatening. I'm just really tired.
Also, if you guys have any topics that you guys want us to talk about, definitely leave a comment down below of like any future topics. We'll definitely write them down, think it over, maybe do it. Maybe.
Everything's on the table.
Yeah, it is a
Like
show about life. So
yeah,
if it's
we're
life
here
related,
to talk about it.
Yeah, if it's life related, we want to talk about it.
Yeah. Also, because we get better insight for ourselves, right?
Yeah, we learn more about ourselves every time. I feel like
Yeah,
we never come out of here like just.
No, yeah, because new thoughts, and that's the whole purpose. That's why I like conversation. Conversation leads to new ideas, new principles, questioning of one's own principles and stuff of that sort. I like the.
What are principles? I don't have any of those.
Well, you will at the end of this conversation, right? That's the whole point of the conversation.
Oh, I thought we were gonna talk about how to hide a dead body. Okay, cool. We'll do that.
We can do that next episode.
Maybe.
But yeah.
So being your authentic self. I know I asked you this just like a minute ago, but what is being your authentic self?
So being your authentic self is, being yourself, being unmoving in the way that you act, no matter what environment you're put in. It kind of stays the same. Your morals, your principles, and all that stay the same. But of course, willing to change if it's met with opposing force that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? It makes you question your morality, and then it only makes them stronger. It reinforces them, or it modifies them. But being your authentic self is that, as opposed to, we all act a certain way at work. We act a certain way with our parents. We act a certain way by ourselves. It's all these different kind of masks that we use to interact with the world. And there's also ways that we have to interact with strangers. There's ways that we interact with things. It's just like this whole big, like, we're just constantly changing masks.
Yeah.
We're putting on different hats, new hat, different day.
Yeah, and then depending on the group, you wear a different
Exactly.
hat.
Depending on the group you're with, your whole everything changes, right?
Yeah.
You never really stay 100% you. And then there's these, the argument could be that those are all you, still you. Right?
Just different parts of you.
Yeah, different parts of you, but then again, the different parts of you react on different things differently depending on said group. So it's never really 100%.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, I always felt that way because the way my brain separates itself from like adult people, like people in their 40s, I act differently with them.
Yeah.
Versus my friend group, versus my other friend group.
Yeah.
And the way I act at work, the way I act when I'm drunk, when I'm sober.
Yeah.
It's all these different things that kind of clash in the middle of being myself.
Yeah.
Am I 100% living my authentic self? No, absolutely not. It's something that I'm working on. It's probably something I'm going to work on for a while,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's going to be something that's going to be kind of lifelong.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something to always work on. I feel like like the people that you do see who are happiest are the ones who found a way to do it quickly. Or they got there authentically.
I was going to say where they hold up the most bullshit and they've just been holding it steady.
True. That could also be it, yeah. Just
that's
pushing
the other...
everything down and repressing.
Exactly.
Never, it's like a means of conforming, I guess.
Yeah.
In a weird way. Not a weird way.
I mean, like, what do you think is like a boundary between conforming and being your authentic self? Because the reason I say that is because it's like, depending on where you live, society like thinks one way, you think a different way, and it's like kind of hard to break out of it. And sometimes I don't want to say it like this, but it's like you're kind of brainwashed into it. So it's like, do you think that you lose a little bit of the authentic self when you got like involved in it, like you became kind of brainwashed?
So the thing is, I think we're born into being brainwashed.
Yeah.
You only become your authentic self once you go against the grain of brainwashing.
Yeah.
So to that part, I'll say like, yeah, if the community you grew up in grows up a certain way and you're like, hey, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
This is the whole cycle of the rat race, right?
Yeah.
You conform, like, back where I was, like, you child, grow up, gang, blah, blah, prison. And it kind of goes into this whole cycle of thing. But if you already are, contemplating saying, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
That isn't what we should strive for.
Yeah.
I am going to pay attention in class. I didn't, but I tried.
But, but you're still your authentic self if you want to do that, right?
It's authentic. Yeah. Yeah, to
some degree,
it would still be like, it would still be authenticity to some degree, even if you're, well, no, because isn't that the whole point of like behavioral, like, what's it called?
I don't fucking know.
Behavioral conditioning. Yeah, you're kind of pushed into that direction to make it seem like that's your whole thing.
But there are guys, like, for staying with the same metaphor, it's like there are guys who just want to gangbang.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, so yeah, maybe that's not
You see what I mean? That's where it gets a little trippy, because it's like, you know, they're like,
it's the authentic government self.
Well,
that's the one that the government wants because it's the easiest to control, or the easiest to get a grip on.
I know.
Well, I mean, think about it. Easiest to control because now you know no one's gonna relocate out of that life. Once you're in it, a majority of the time you're in it, you go to prison, and then you perfectly belong into the system where you're supposed to work and just be there for the government.
You see, I find it so different because it's like, I feel like it's really hard to know your authentic self, and that you're only your authentic self in the life that you are living in. Because there's because the point of the whole point of that question from the start was like, you know, how far can we push whatever it means to be your authentic self before it's like you're not even being authentic anymore, or like you are living the lifestyle that you actually want, that you are authentic. Not because like the government pushes you, but you were born into the society and you're like, yeah, no, I want to gangbang and I want to do this. Yeah. Like, then technically they are being authentic.
You know, that also makes me think of people from like suburb areas who come to the hood to do stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And it's like that being their authentic self, I guess. Yeah, in that sense.
Yeah, so it's like, you know,
and that's, you have so many options to do.
Exactly. So it's like, it's gonna be kind of hard when it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, you kind of are getting brainwashed, and like, yeah,
you're already preconditioned to be put into this.
But then there are people that want it.
Yeah.
And then they're already in that position anyways, and so it's like,
or it's not that they want it, it's just that it's so accessible that it really is the only option that they have.
Yeah.
So it's really they get the illusion that you're able to not gangbang.
Yeah.
But in reality, you know, if your older brother's doing it, if your friends are doing it.
Yeah.
And then the only way you're already not getting by with the money you make, your parents are struggling, blah, blah, blah. Then yeah, sometimes it's the only thing you can do. You can say, I want to gangbang, but it's...
But then at the same time, it could be like a role model. Like, for example, your older brother is in the gang, and you're like, my brother's my role model, and he doesn't hide it, you know. Eventually, that kid's going to grow up, and then that's his authentic self, is like, oh, my brother grew up in it. Yeah. It's like kind of a family tree kind of thing. You know?
Then so is that authentic self, then?
Well, I would say yes.
Preconditioned. Regardless of all that, it's
but everything's preconditioned. Right? So how can you be your authentic self anyways to start with?
The thing is, authentic self, I think, has to do with the idea that you're able to break away from like the one thing that you know. Like being able to experience more than that tiny world that you're in.
But only if you choose to.
Only if you choose to.
Exactly.
So yeah, you're right. It's very. You're
see,
right.
I already knew. I had that question from the jump. By the way, I was ready for that one.
Okay.
Because I wanted to just break it immediately for shits and giggles.
Yeah, no. That was a very good question. But it's very like. Yeah,
it's
authentic
hard.
Self.
It's going to be hard to be like your authentic self. I think authentic self is just within the context that you are currently living in.
Doing what it is that you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even if you don't know, like, above that. Yeah,
but then I think authentic self is. I feel like it's going to be a lot more simpler than that. I think it's just being, kind of the integrity of it, like just being the same person with everybody is your authentic self. Yeah. You know, that is. I feel like it's. I think
folding, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even if you do fold or something like that, because there are people that just fold all the time. But like, yeah, no, it's like as long as you could be the same person with most groups of people or all groups of people, then your authentic self, because it's like you like the things that you like.
To hide anything.
Yeah. Then that's what I would call your actual authentic self, because it's like, for me, you know, the person that you guys see on camera, the person that you know here, I swear to you that if we go out with any of my friends, even my coworkers, this is literally the same person, because I don't care, and it's like I keep my views to myself on certain topics, and even then it's like I'm like, I don't wish-wash, but I'm like, I just dodge the questions because I'm like, I don't want to do that kind of argument. But for me, I'm still the same person with all my friends. I'm a fucking idiot. So, you know, it's like, that's how I would think about my authentic self, because for me, it's like, I have my views, and my views don't change unless, as we stated from before, it's like there's a fact, or like, you know, things around us change. And so it would only change in those occasions.
Okay.
So it's like
those specific topics that, you know, could open up like Pandora's box, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Or there is another way to look at it, and that's one thing that I strive for, is like to see the topic from a different point of view. And so it's like, you know, Okay, this is a really good one that I just thought of. There is a point where you're too authentic to yourself, and you just become a killer. That's the funnier part. And here's my example, and this is a true example, and everybody can look this up.
Oh, he's gonna tell us about how he killed someone.
No, not me.
Write this down. Write this down.
Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. The Unabomber was a really smart guy. He was actually very smart. He was a teacher at Harvard and all that shit. Was it Harvard? One of the Ivy League schools. But when he went to college, he enrolled into the psychological program where he had to come up with a thesis and he had to back it up as much as he could. And these people would literally come in, and it doesn't matter how much bullshit they spewed, they would like literally rip him apart, like on an emotional and mental level to that point. They would literally push it as far as they could. And so he, eventually killed people, but somewhere in there, when he got caught at the end, after he, he's the one who like sent bombs in the mail. They found out about the psychological stuff, and his brother asked him, like, then why did you do that? He's like, because I had to finish this. Like, this is something that was, like, basically he was trying to be his authentic self. He was, like, trying to keep that integrity. He's like, well, they pushed me, and this is my idea, and so I had to back up my idea. And so it's like, I feel like there is a point where it's, like, too far to be your authentic self in that case.
It's not the authentic self for, like, not
for the integrity.
Abiding by, like, moral code.
Yeah.
Right. Because moral code has to do something with authentic self. I know there's moral code, like societal moral codes that you have to follow. But then there are like the ones like, I think authentically humans don't think they should kill other people.
No,
I think that's something that's like just
I mean, he got pushed to that point because of the psychological trauma that he gained. That makes sense. But it was like that at that point, it's like, yeah, he went too far with it, I admit. But like it's just kind of interesting, like how like he went too much authentic self. Yeah. And then that's why he also lived out in the woods.
Well, it was like right there, and then it was also like a break.
Oh yeah.
Like that was just that's kind of crazy though.
But like if you watch the interviews post everything, he's actually like really smart, and he actually wrote his manifesto. And if you ever, I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but if you guys ever get a chance, read the manifesto from Ted Kaczynski. He's a fucking genius, and everything he said in there, because his idea was like, yo, technology is gonna take over, and then this and this is gonna happen, and literally everything he said has actually happened since then. And that was he got caught in the 90s.
Sounds about right.
So it's like, it's really weird. Like, he was actually his authentic self the whole way through, even to the end. Well, I think he's still alive, actually. But like, and he was actually really smart and everything. So
that's an interesting, like, the whole technology taking over the world, because I feel like that also falls into the category of being authentic self, because a lot of people try to modify a lot of their living based on social medias and stuff of that sort.
Oh, definitely. Everybody wants to be a TikToker.
I think this generation specifically is going to struggle the most with being authentic self, just because of that factor alone, where kids are already 5 years old on Instagram, on TikTok, doing their little fucking dances and shit. And can you imagine?
My kids are not going to have a tablet until like 13 at bare minimum.
Yeah, when it's like when they're responsible.
No, my kids are not going to be responsible. I know who I am. I'm not responsible. They're not going to be.
You're responsible. Bro, this guy keeps me in line for the podcast. Like, this man tells me, gives me times and everything, and like keeps me in line. You're responsible. But like, yeah, it's like when they have like an idea as to what it is, why they don't get enough. Playtime on the tablet, it makes sense. But giving it as a replacement for parenting is such a weird concept to me. And ever since I found out that kids nowadays, some people say like they just want to be social media stars, or they want to be like TikTok famous, as opposed to choosing careers or anything of that sort.
And here we are trying to get on YouTube famous.
True. I mean, no. This is a side thing we do.
That's true.
Yeah, this is a side. This is just because we have time to do other stuff, right? Yeah. But
we have 9 to 5.
It's not like I'm just like and I'm like no. It's very interesting because there's so much fake shit on Instagram. People are promoting lives that they don't live. Yeah. People they're hurting themselves in the process. All these crash diets that I feel like it was such a big concern back in the day, and I think they're making a comeback, but no one's been talking about it.
Well, like keto and all that stuff?
That stuff like that, but also, do you remember like when people were promoting, hey, if you only eat Subway sandwiches for like blah blah blah, like
really?
Do you remember that?
No, I remember that.
Jared was like a big part of like when it was before everything happened.
Yes,
with him.
I know what you're talking about, but I'm like, they're bringing that back?
No, people are just like, they're making like these weird, not Subway specifically, but they're just making like weird diets, or just like, if you just do this, just like, if you lick the fruit as opposed to eating it, you'll lose 50 pounds. And it's
that's how they make LaCroix. They just like rub the fruit against the can.
Dude, that shit's so fucking LaCroix, man. But like, dude, interesting because can you imagine being 5 years old and you go on social media and there's another 5-year-old on there with 2 million viewers.
Yeah.
They're getting millions of dollars worth of money.
Actually, you just reminded me. The person that would be perfect for this is like Little Tay.
Little Tay. Oh, yeah.
She is also not her authentic self.
Yeah,
online.
she was pushed to be Little Tay.
Yeah, by her brother, her mom,
her
or
brother
dad.
and her mom, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and like she's actually like a small girl, and she's like not allowed to curse or anything unless she's on camera, and like just talk shit only on camera. But outside of that, she's actually very shy, and she like doesn't do any of that.
I remember seeing a whole bunch of interviews for that, but like, see, it's stuff like that promotes like this whole living inauthentically or trying to already fake your way to the top. And I feel like now more than ever, fake it till you make it has a very big meaning.
Yeah.
Where people do genuinely think if they fake it enough on social media, people are going to pick up on it. And people are going to be thinking. And it's always a matter of question where it's like, yeah, okay, you made it, but now you're getting called out on the fake part of it. Now what happens? What's the argument there? Do you continue faking it? Do you break away from character and do you become another mask? Like, where does it end? And where are you happy in this? Are you happy living a fake life that you never really...
I feel like what ends up happening is that it's so accessible. It's so easy. And it's like, you know, you could be the lucky one that made a new dance and you get, you know, famous.
Right.
But then the idea that comes with it is that if you get famous, you get money, which is not true. You could be famous and broke, or you can have a lot of money and not be famous at all.
True.
So it's like those things are not mutually exclusive. Well, they are mutually exclusive.
Right.
Right? Because they
tend to correlate for some reason. Like,
they correlate,
some degree.
Yeah, to some degree, but at the same time, one doesn't need the other.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of famous people that are just broke too.
Yeah. That's like a big thing that's portrayed on social media too.
Yeah,
like where it's because you're famous, you automatically assume that you're gonna get rich no matter what it is you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it's like, no, take the Island Boys for example.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say Tekashi 69 is another one.
Oh yeah, Tekashi 69, fucking Lil Pump too. They were all going through
financial.
Lil
Pump was gone.
yeah, they were all going through financial issues.
Yeah.
And they're still arguably famous.
Yeah.
Right? Like if they were to drop something, you would assume like, oh yeah, like they would still get money from all that, but no, it doesn't work like that anymore.
You know what's funny is that Tekashi 69, he recently got out of jail and he actually released a video where he has like money and Hublots and cars and shit. And it was funny because he got called out on it after and he was on TMZ. And he's like, yeah, no, everything was fake. He actually just admitted it right away. He didn't even give a fuck anymore though, but it kept up his fame.
Yeah.
But it's like at that point, it's just like, I don't think it's worth. I don't want fame. I'll take the money, but I don't want to be famous for any of those reasons. Like if I'm gonna be famous, it's because I did something well enough that like people respect me for it. But I feel like that's one thing about being your authentic self. It's like I like to be respected and I respect others, but you lose that idea with like social media and stuff like that. Right. And like people can like somehow for some reason there's this like notion where it's like you don't have to respect other people and you could you know that would be your authentic self, I guess, or like that's the fake part of like do you know what I mean? I know I worded that really badly. I get where
you're going. Like you're gonna have to repeat it to me though.
Yeah, no, give me a minute. It's like one of those things where it's like on social media they like advertise disrespecting other people and just talking shit and just like talking about stuff that they don't know and just calling out people, like the whole thing like fuck J. Cole or like fuck Eminem and things like that, all that stuff that went on for a while, or like the people that like to pull pranks on other people and like older people and shit like that. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I'm talking about the people that push the joke too far. Logan
really
Paul,
is
Jake Paul,
for the sake of getting famous. For the sake
of getting famous. And like and it's like those guys are the Paul brothers are the biggest shit talkers and shit like that. And like the biggest disrespect I could think of, even saying whichever brother went to Japan and went to the forest where like like shit like that, like that's disrespectful to their community and to the tradition, and they got like a lot of heat for that. But even then, it's like that heat made them more famous.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of weird because it's like in that culture of that stuff is really like it's like saying like, hey, you can do whatever the fuck you want,
like
however you
by
want
any
to.
means, as long as it's on camera.
Yeah, exactly.
Because now you know something comes out of it.
Exactly. That's the point I'm kind of trying to get to. I couldn't word that. I could not for the life of me like put that.
It's like, do it for the vine.
Yes.
I don't want to do it. Do it for the vine. But no, I get exactly what you're talking about, and it's weird that that's the constant like narrative that's promoted on things.
Yeah.
It's so many distractions that no one gets. No one gets a real chance to think about what it is they want authentically because there's so much happening around, right?
Yeah, but
we have social media. We have fucking NFTs, cryptos, all this shit that's happening.
Well, this is going to be a whole separate topic because I wrote that one down.
But like
look out for that tech and everyday madness. This is really what I wanted to talk about.
But it's like all this constant rush of like things happening. No one has that much time to think about what they want themselves, so it's kind of pushed into a direction.
What the fuck are you crying about? The gate is open. You can grab any toy you want. What are you crying? Sophie, I love you. Don't huff at me. The gate is open. What do you want? What?
She's so sassy.
She is extremely sassy. She's a corgi, man. Those dogs are just... Okay, fine. I'll give you pets. So anyways, yeah.
But, fuck, what was I saying?
We were talking about, like, the social media culture and everything that's hard to think of because it's, like, so much is
going
on
because there's so
life.
much happening, like, right now, specifically. Yeah. Everything's being thrown out, like, 90 miles an hour at your head, and you're trying to dodge everything and catch everything at the same time, and it's so... thing that it's overwhelming. Yeah. Like there's a lot of sensory overload in those situations because you feel the need to catch up to some of these trends.
Yeah.
And then you end up missing it, and now you're trying to overcompensate to catch up to the next trend, trying to be on top of everything. That you begin to lose a little bit. Or even
try to make your own trend.
Yeah, like because you feel so lost in this whole sense of everyone's doing it or everyone's doing better than me that you almost take it as a competition. And now you're just throwing away any bit of you that's enjoying a lot of these things and going, fuck, no, I need to do this to beat this person. I need to do this to get on this level. And I'm like a big fucking, that's like me. Yeah. I do that. And I have this whole like thing where it's like, fuck, I need to do all these things to catch up because I feel like I'm falling behind.
Yeah.
But then when I think of it and I take a step back and I'm like, if I think of it like that, I fall into the rat race.
Yeah.
Right? Because at that point now I'm measuring my worth by what I complete versus other people when I shouldn't. It should be my worth is valid no matter what. Outside of anything that I do, my worth is valid because I exist. I'm here, I work, I do my thing. I'm an upstanding member of society. I'm really not, but it's one of those things where you don't have much. You don't have to prove much, so right, fat. Sophie? The star of the show has arrived, right, Sophie? But like, you get me, Sophie.
Yeah, I mean, and it's really hard because it's funny because like the famous, I don't know if you guys can hear me. The really famous people are like struggling too because now they have to come up with their own trends and do all the same stuff even when they're at the top. Yeah. So it's not even like the people just trying to get into it or the people at the bottom, but now even the people at the top are trying to do or still doing the same thing every day. And it becomes a job if you really think about it.
Yeah.
But it's like, people lose themselves throughout the whole entire thing.
Yeah. Do you think rich people have a higher tendency of living their authentic self? Do you think it's swayed into a direction because of
I believe it's the Chinese saying, or one of the Asian sayings that it's like you have three masks.
I think it's a Japanese proverb.
Yeah, where it's like the first one is for everybody. The second one is for people in your personal life, and the third one is the one that nobody sees. Mm-hmm. And I feel like...
that's the truest self.
And that's the truest self. And I feel like for them, at their level, for some reason, there's like this... well, first off, we don't know who really is like truly that rich and famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The real rich people, you don't know their names.
Yeah, true.
The people that are actually the rich... We don't know any of their names except for like Bill Gates and whoever the number 2 Mexican guy is.
Yeah.
And like Elon Musk. We only know like specific ones. But there are even richer people out there that we don't know about. And this is a fact. And so the funny part that I think about when it comes down to them, it's like the only thing I could think of is like movies where it's like when they're with people, they act a little bit more posher and they like think about their words a little bit more. And it's like that goes for like all the CEOs and like and
right, because constant eyes on them.
Yeah, exactly. Like they have to do those certain things, and then it's like when they go home, it's like another self, and then like you're most vulnerable when you're taking a shit. So that's their true selves, So the and then it's like you don't know who they are until like they face death or somebody's about to rob them, you know. I'm only thinking of that cliche because of movies. Like, you know, it's like this guy acts all this and that, but like the moment that he has a gun to his head, like he's a bitch.
You know, it reminds me of that
Money Heist. Did you ever watch Money Heist?
I didn't.
Oh my God, there's this one guy that in the whole movie I really wanted him to die as fast as possible, and he never died, and it pissed me off. But he was like the head manager of the bank that they ended up robbing. I'm not gonna tell you the whole story, but like
wait, maybe I did see Money Heist. Hold on, let me check the picture.
It's the mask, the Salvador Dali mask. Anyways, so in the movie, in this show that's like one long ass movie.
Oh, it's a show. Yeah, no, I didn't see it
on Netflix. Yeah.
Okay, I was confused.
If you ever want to watch it, it's really good. It's super intense. It never goes below 100%.
It's a Spanish show, right?
Yeah, but you can watch it in English if you want. But like, the movie never drops from 100. It's intense the whole way through. It never has a slow moment, which is great. But anyway, so the thing I'm thinking about is like, because he's rich, he has money and all that stuff. So in the bank, he has his wife and he has a girlfriend in the bank, and it's a secretary. And once they ended up robbing the bank and they put a gun to his head, they asked him like, who would you choose, your girlfriend or your wife? And he's like, my wife, in front of his girlfriend. And so it's like, you could tell like, that's like the moment that you're in that type of position, that's when you become your most vulnerable, your most truest self, because like you have nothing else, like you're gonna lose everything. And I feel like that's gonna be the same for even the richest of people, except for like Elon Musk. He does not give a fuck about anybody and anything, you know, because he's posting up the most,
as far as we know.
So yeah, as far as we know, but like, you know, like he's the only one that's not too afraid of like just
like backlash and shit.
Yeah, he's not afraid of backlash, and he just says it because it might make him famous, but B, it's like he doesn't care at the same time.
Yeah, and he also knows that he's gonna have like a shit ton of supporters. They'll be like, "Wow, you're speaking your authentic self."
No, I mean he's like, you know, some shit that he says is stupid as fuck, but like I love his ideas. You know, I'll be honest. It's like I'm 100% on Tesla, on SpaceX, on the light rail. I'm like on his ideas, the Boring Company. I love all of that. Him, man. It's a 50-50 with me. Sometimes cool, sometimes dumbass. But yeah, like when you get to that circle, I feel like you really do have those three masks: the company mask, the personal mask, and then your true self mask. Definitely, like when you get up there, because they definitely have their own like environment. They definitely have their own circles where it's like. One person is
like
posh, now we all have to be posh.
It's code switching, essentially.
Yeah, that's what it's called, code switching. Yeah, they definitely have that. I'm pretty sure they have.
And I guess we're all preconditioned to have that too, to be accepted, because, you know, there's always this fear of not being accepted in other social circles and society in itself. Yeah. We feel the need to, like, always...
be accepted.
Kind of, we're, like, malleable beings that kind of have to, like, just go... and fucking, like... Speak in a British accent sometimes, maybe, like, if I want to seem, like, wealthier, blah, 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 but... I don't know why I associate British accent with wealth, but...
you know why? Because of movies.
Yeah.
I feel like movies, no matter what, has, like, changed everybody's lives and understanding of life.
Perspectives of stuff, too. Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's, like, definitely, like I said even earlier, it's, like, the reason I think that rich people have that kind of idea is only because of movies and TV shows, and I even referenced the Money Heist. It's the only thing we have to go, because we don't know how they actually live.
Right, because not only that, but I feel like it's sometimes very well explained like that. You know, we get like an interesting perspective from movies about a lot of these things.
I guess, but it's like the topic never changed. You know what I mean? It's always the same thing. So you can repeat
it's always going to be like rich person, bad guy, like by himself, but with other people, cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like that's just like The Sopranos. It's the same idea. Yeah. They're wealthy mafia, but when he's with his fellas, he's one way, and when he's at home,
and he also doesn't have the makings of a varsity athlete. Poor Tony.
But you know, it's like it's all that stuff. Or like oh my God, what's the other movie? Wolf of Wall Street. It's like perfect love, like, you made it rich, so now he's going to be just a jackass.
Like a dick, because he has so much money.
Yeah, so it's like, I feel like there is some code switching up there. Yeah. But like, that's also influenced by movies and TV shows.
Also interesting, richness is always associated with assholeness. Yeah. There's probably a possibility that it's not either. Like, no. I guess we're like predisposed to assume the worst of rich people because they're rich and not helping other people. Yeah. So we're kind of always just like, fuck the rich, eat the rich. Yeah. And then, but
there are certain rich people that do that do, but then that's
they're like philanthropists and stuff like that.
Yeah, and even then, it's like those people are the people that we don't even know their names of.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like those are the real good rich people, and we talk shit about the ones that don't do shit.
It's because they kind of lead.
Yeah, and my favorite one is Jeff Bezos and his wife, ex-wife now. Jeff Bezos clearly doesn't give a shit about anything. His wife, after the divorce settlement,
donated a lot of money.
Donated so much money because she's like, I don't even know what to do with half of this money, and she donated like a good portion. So it's like and we don't know her name. We know Jeff Bezos. We don't even know Jeff. Well, I don't know Jeff Bezos.
Look at the way we already described it. Jeff Bezos' ex-wife.
Yeah,
that's how we.
I want to know her name now. But like, that's my point. It's like, we don't know.
We don't acknowledge the good.
Well, even then, it's like we don't know.
That's a big thing
because it's not like given to us on social media.
But also but it's also like goodness isn't really rewarded. So it kind of defeats the purpose of like anyone going out of their way to be good.
Yeah.
Which is why I also feel like a lot of people are just kind of like, it's either they do something and they want to get recognition for it, or they do bad shit or anything that's associated with negative things to get some kind of like talk about them going around, right?
Yeah.
Or per se, like you remember back then, I remember everyone used to want to smoke when it was illegal.
Yeah.
Everyone was fiending. Everyone was like,
I mean, it's still like that, but with
no, it's still like that. But now, absolutely.
And
but
smoking
now
weed,
that it's
I feel
been
like
legalized,
is also now on that board.
Yeah. But I feel like when it was illegal, it was a lot more like that. Now that it's been legalized, I've noticed that a lot of people who did smoke no longer smoke because some of them have admitted. Some of them have admitted. It's just like now it seems kind of weird because I think they were explaining that they also felt a rush because it was illegal.
Yeah.
So it was a mixture of them smoking, getting high, and then, feeling a rush that, there's a possibility we could get arrested. I have weed. I could get arrested.
Yeah.
But now that it was legalized, they're kind of just like, I don't know. It's just like,
I feel like
it just doesn't it doesn't hit as much as it used. There's no like adrenaline rush, and I was just like, interesting. Maybe you're just an adrenaline junkie. Like maybe you want that.
Yeah.
Maybe you need an adrenaline fix.
Maybe.
But like,
I don't know
like
because
so
at the same time, it's like it's.
But that's like.
I feel like, but now it's more pushed upon because it is legal. Because now there's a weed store in every fucking corner.
Yeah.
So it's just like at this rate, it's like what, dude? There's a weed store in Bell now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not against it. I don't care if it's legal or not. I just feel like it's super annoying that it's just like on every other street now that it's like legal. And it's like I feel like now it's pushing certain people to like do it more.
Yeah. It's definitely.
That's what
the implication is there.
Yeah.
And now that everyone's doing it, a lot more people are kind of like looking at it and being like, might as well, right? It's the equivalent of picking up cigarettes. But then there's, it's not like me or you go out of our way to get cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be that. It's one of those things that's going to be there.
Yeah.
But no one's really going to care unless they're already too invested in it or can't like do anything else aside from that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, for recreational purposes, I think it's good that it's being sold out of like a store now, though.
Yeah.
Just because I like the idea of people knowing where they get it from as opposed to just.
True. And it's kind of, I think that and there is like better. Regulations and everything, so it's not laced.
I'm like a little bit happier with that.
That's
because
fair.
Now it's kind of like.
That's very fair.
Yeah, at least, even if you enjoy smoking weed, at least I know you're getting it from a safe place.
Yeah.
Like no need to worry about like something was being laced in it, no fentanyl or anything. But,
oh God.
But it's so thing because I remember that was a big part, and like when I was in middle school, that's why I started smoking because I just thought it would look cool if I did, and
I was bored.
Yeah.
No, my friend did it, and I was like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, no, I thought it would look. I remember I used to smoke with my cousin. Like he's the one who put me on, and I was just like, oh, this is interesting. We were just like standing in a parking lot, like smoking, and that was it. Like it was just.
But I feel like even then, it's like all the big name rappers smoke.
Yeah, but again, so, like, it's because it's associated with like illegality.
Yeah, but even then, it's legal now, and Snoop Dogg. Well, it's been legal in California for a long time, and Snoop Dogg has been like
since forever.
Yeah.
But again, it's associated with all these richness things, like smoking weed all the time. Also, successful man, rapper, fucking drug dealer, blah blah blah. Like all these successful people we see that are smoking, we always associate it with those kind of things.
Yeah.
How can I portray this lifestyle if I'm not smoking, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Again, there's always like this whole connection thing. You have to pass off the image, you have to do every part of it, right? So people can associate you with that. I think
that's what happened to Logic.
You think so?
He retired early because he says that there was a lot of gatekeepers in that because he thought differently than all of them.
Oh, see, that's the issue. It's because everyone associates one thing completely. They don't like variance in that, like one style of thing.
Yeah.
Which I always find interesting.
Well, that's another society of like rich people that would be a good one. It's like they really have the same persona across the board, and then there's very select few that don't. Like Eminem doesn't give a shit. So he just shows up when he needs to show up and he leaves. Snoop Dogg always high. But like across the rest of the board, it's like and they're all rich. It's like, yeah, they all have gold chains, they all have this and the third, and they all talk shit. So it's like, at least when it comes down to rich people, we could say about them. It's like that. I don't know. I don't think any of those people are their authentic selves. Kim Kardashian is not her authentic self because she's actually really smart off camera. Like, I think she is or was going to law school.
Well, I think her father was an attorney too, so she was studying to be an attorney.
Yeah.
She was like, I think she was like apprenticing with him to become an attorney. That's why she was acquitting like people who were incarcerated for like crimes they didn't do and stuff. She was helping out with that.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. But it's like, in reality, she's smart, but on TV, but also she plays dumb.
She's a businesswoman. Like she's does all these things and is successful in all these things. I find it weird that people just associate her with like thing, but that's what's portrayed.
Yeah, and exactly. But even then, it's like that. But then that's the other point is like it's kind of hard to be your authentic self at that level because it's like there's expectations of you to fit in with the crowd. Because it's like I said, I don't believe any of the rappers that we currently know of are as they truly are. They definitely on camera and when they're out there, they're just
maybe more like reserved.
They're probably more reserved, but like the moment they're in the streets and shit, they just do whatever. I
guess you have to after some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you really do begin to lose like image.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's like clout and fame and wealth all in that realm. It's all tied. It's all together.
Yeah, in that case, that's like the one place where fame and richness and all kind of
together. And it's only if you break the ceiling on that, then you can do whatever you want. Like Jay-Z, like broke that ceiling, and he's just
Jay-Z just businessman from the jump.
Now, yeah. Well, no,
hustler from the jump.
Yeah, exactly. But now he's a true like
businessman,
and with Beyonce there.
Yeah.
So it's like Beyonce was one. I think that she's probably the same in and out of camera.
Yeah.
But like everybody else in the rap game, it's like definitely they are not the authentic selves.
I think Jay-Z's like when the in and out of camera is still the same person.
Yeah.
Like same. I think J. Cole too does something like.
J. Cole definitely maybe even Kendrick.
Oh, definitely believe Kendrick. Kendrick just be outside. Like, can you imagine being like that? That mainstream and also just being able to go anywhere and everyone just you're good.
Yeah.
Like no need to worry about anything. That's living.
Yeah. But it's like very select. It has to be very select people because everybody else, Mingos, definitely fake as shit. Alongside with like 2 Chainz.
I don't think 2 Chainz is. I think 2 Chainz literally is living like that. From what I've seen, it's just literally all the time. He's just like that.
Oh, okay.
It seems like from the this man's like intelligent.
The Mingos definitely are fake as shit.
Mingos.
Mingos. I don't give a fuck. That's a little of their Quavo, Offset, whatever those other people, fucking guys. I don't care about them enough. I don't even listen to their music, so I don't care. But those guys, any of the new mumble rappers, they're already gone. Definitely lived that lifestyle.
I do definitely. Yeah, I definitely agree. You know what? I don't think that's a fake lifestyle. Like you said earlier, how it's like kind of like that's the
that's the norm.
That's the normal like what's promoted to get out of the hood and shit like that. It's that like just being able to buy jewelry and then unfortunately not knowing how to manage money after that.
Yeah. Oh, Rick Ross is a good one too. He's okay off camera, super good dude, super cool. Writes everybody else's music and shit like that, but on camera he's like weed smoker, big guy, like all that stuff. So I feel like it's kind of
also a health nut.
Yeah. Oh no, now he is after his heart attack in Miami or whatever.
Yeah, but that was like years ago.
I know, but I'm saying health nut now because of that.
I think I was like a freshman when that happened.
Yeah.
But like he was just promoting working out and eating pears and all that.
Yeah.
So that was like good time. But like that
was just the lifestyle there.
Yeah.
But no, dude, it's sometimes hard to be your authentic self. I guess it just depends on the environment. Because I do have friends that struggle with it very hard, and they even have anxiety because of it. They truly have anxiety because it's like they have trouble. And it's funny because it's like I see it on their face that they actually have trouble kind of being their own selves. And it's like I'm one of the people that, like I said, I'm the same person across the board. I try my best to, like with everybody. When I'm at work, it's like I just clean up my wording a little bit, but I'm still equally as stupid. So, but I have certain friends where it's like I could tell on their face that they're just trying to figure out, it's like, should I say this? Should I not say this?
Right.
Do you think this person would enjoy that? Do you think this person would not enjoy that? Is this a good idea? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm over here like, yo, you want to jump a bridge? you know?
Yeah. Something just like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are certain things that transition like all the masks.
Yeah.
I have a personal issue with authenticity with self and authenticity with, I guess, close circle groups, because since I lack authenticity with self, I don't think I can break away from the idea of like being able to share a lot more of what it is I do.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like key word in my head that pops up a lot is the word pretentious, and it's because for some reason I police myself when I think of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll be in my head and I'll start
Yes.
thinking about like, damn, blah 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 blah. You know, subconsciously I'm always thinking about death, but is it because blah 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 this, or are we just always thinking about death and we just don't know it?
Yeah.
And then the word pretentious comes out like as like a fucking comic book, like pow. It just says pretentious. Stop thinking like that. And then I'll be like, it's in my head. I'm allowed to think in my head, right? But
I guess it
no, and
depends.
it'll just like spam the word pretentious.
Yeah, because you're thinking about whatever you're thinking about in the view of society now, instead of just the view of yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's such a big issue. I have such a strong like, there's like this wall that I need to break down, and for some reason I struggle with that. And the only times I can actually break past it is like when I'm drunk, like when I'm like actually fucked up. Yeah. But then at that point I can no longer put these phrases. I can't put the ideas together like I want to.
Yeah.
Like when I'm like loose, I'm able to like at least connect everything and it makes sense. But when you get blackout drunk, I guess it's like such a rush of ideas going out into like the world that it's kind of like, damn, now I don't know how to piece them together, but I know what I'm saying.
You should just like record yourself.
I should. Probably not. Maybe for the better. I don't. but it's just so many things, and it's just weird how, again, like subconsciously we're just programmed to think like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Where, you know, thinking for yourself is considered a negative trait. You shouldn't think for yourself.
Yeah.
You should just conform, be an outstanding member of society, and just pay your taxes. And
I feel like to a certain extent that is necessary, though.
Well, yeah, that's how we live.
And
I think it's necessary for that. Say like, yeah, if we don't do that, we die.
Yeah.
You know, we get thrown out on the street.
And then that's how you become homeless.
That's also like subconsciously the idea of us fighting death, right? It's just conforming to society is subconsciously fighting against the idea that you're going to die if you don't do any of these things.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of people don't want to think that, because who wants to think about death like that?
Yeah.
It's one of those things you kind of just throw in the backseat and let it rock. If it happens, it happens. But yeah, like this whole idea that I have to constantly like fight with my brain and tell my brain like, no, you're allowed to think like that. You're allowed to have conversation with yourself in your head and explore topics that you don't really talk with other people about. You're allowed to do all these things. Like, who's stopping you? You know, aside from yourself.
Yeah. But because like you have society like that put in these like grips on your brain, it's like hard in those moments.
Whereas, like, can you imagine like just thinking for yourself? For some reason, you yourself and society tells you that it's such a fucking, it's out of your league.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't even be thinking like that.
Sometimes I am like that, and more recently, and you know what's funnier with this podcast? More recently, I just stopped caring less. I started caring less about it because it's like it's one of those things where it's just like, fuck it what other people say. Like it's at this rate, it's like if I keep thinking about what other people say, or if I keep just sitting around not doing shit, it's just gonna stay the same. And so it's like I need to do something about it, and I need to just start pushing it. Just push again, like you said earlier. It's like you need to start pushing against the grain and just start doing it. Yeah. Because otherwise, you're just gonna be stuck in that same rut.
Yeah, you kind of get.
I got tired. I got sick of it. I'm just like, all right, I'm not happy. Like I'm not happy, and so it's like I have to change something about this. And it's like society might not like it, but whatever. I don't give a fuck anymore. It's like, well, if I keep thinking that, I'm not gonna do shit.
Yeah. Ooh, I get that. Now I'm like piecing together situation like that kind of.
Yeah, and it's like I said, this is a more recent kind of concept to even me, where it's just like I'm just
it's still being explored.
Yeah, it's still being explored.
Like it reminds me. So I think to some degree I can admit I had issues with substance before, just because before it was such a big part of my life that I didn't see myself not doing it.
Yeah.
And it was weird because I had friends like throughout high school, throughout a little bit after high school, that would kind of, you know, I always had this thing where I wanted to test out sobriety and like having fun while being sober, because a lot of my family struggle with alcoholism.
My family
like,
highly does.
Yeah, so it's kind of like seeing something like that and growing up around something like it's kind of like a scary thing.
Yeah.
And then my means of fighting it was to drink and fucking thing, and then like, oh, I can control this now.
Yeah.
And then like key moments in my life where I was with friends and I was like, hey, I don't feel like smoking or drinking. Like I'm having a good time, but I just don't feel the need to do that.
Yeah.
And I remember I would get like bashed for that. I would get teased for it. I would get like fucking like, oh, bro, you don't know how to have fun, bro. You're a fucking stick in the mud, and shit like that. And it's kind of like, but I'm literally standing here joking around with you, and we're all laughing together. I'm not having any less fun. And those kind of shaped my whole perception of it. Or now it's like, oh, I feel the need that I need to drink.
Yeah.
Because I'm with people, I have to drink more. And this Friday when I went out to drink made me realize how much I fucking hate the feeling of drinking. And like, I don't like being out of control of like stuff.
For me, I got the opposite. I have the opposite thing with the same ending. It's more like my family drinks too much. And I have certain family members that force other people to drink in order for them to have fun. And it's like disgusting. It's honestly the most disgusting thing ever. And I've seen this since I was a kid. This is not like new. And so like they would literally get other people almost blackout drunk and shit. And I would literally be concerned for the other person's life. And so even growing up, it's like, yeah, okay, there's times that I've gotten drunk, but even then I could literally count most of them, the ones that I do remember. But even then, it's like blackout, there's so few of them. I'm pretty sure there's only like 2 or 3 my whole entire life. And so for me, it's like I drink just to get loose, but I don't drink to get drunk. And I just drink because it's like, you know what? And sometimes I actually like the flavor of beer. So I drink because I actually just like the flavor of beer. And it's just like, it's a cool, refreshing drink, especially on hot summer days. I'm sitting outside where it's like I'm walking so much and it's like I don't want water and I don't want a juice. And it's like, I just want a beer. And it's like I have a beer and I don't want to get drunk. And it's the same idea. It's like, I don't want to get drunk. And even if I'm at a party with my own family, I literally have a drink, if that. And I just let everybody else rock their own way. And I have my own fun.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel that. What I like to do too with, because I do enjoy getting loose. Yeah. That's fine. Because like, it's nice.
That's basically me and the beer.
Exactly. You're still in control.
Yeah.
And you can still think and like have like these thoughts and all that. So you're still.
Well, that's what moderation is.
Yeah. Moderation is like key importance in a lot of that. And I do that a lot. Whenever I used to go out to functions and shit like that, like, I think the most I would do sometimes would be, I would get a beer, but it would be strictly for the idea of just being able to hold something in my hand while I dance and do whatever.
Yeah.
Because I feel awkward without a drink, and I guess again that's something that's
especially like if you're in a club or something.
Yeah, it feels super awkward. It feels weird if you're just like standing and dancing and like no drink in hand. I like to hold the bottle. Yeah. So that's where like a lot of stuff comes from. But it's just like, I don't know. Growing up, it felt so weird being told that like I was a fucking weirdo for not wanting to do these things, and now it's, again, Friday was a special occasion. Friend was leaving, the only reason I drank, but like, fuck. Waking up the next day and realizing how much you don't like not being in your head. Yeah. Horrible. And maybe being blackout drunk isn't for me. Maybe 2 beers in is for me. Yeah. Maybe that's the lifestyle.
I usually cap myself at like 2-3 drinks in general. But I also have a liver, and I know I could drink, and that's like from formative years of drinking. Yeah. But like, I usually cap myself at like, probably like 2 drinks, if that. And if like I'm if I'm at home or something, then maybe I'll push the 3rd and 4th. Right. But even then, it's like, I don't really care for it too much.
Right. Do you notice a difference in the way you think during these times?
I just talk more, but everything else stays the same. And you could even ask like Anna, like she's seen me like really fucked up drunk, and I just say I love you. Oh, okay. That's really it. Yeah. And it's like when I'm with my friends, they're like, yeah, you just don't shut up. It's like, yeah, that sounds about right. But everything else is literally the same. I'm still just like I keep saying, like I'm just a smooth brain. Yeah. It's not like I get smoother. No, I'm already smooth. So it's consistent across the board, and I just talk more.
Okay, valid.
But that's really it. Because it's like,
have you ever had profound thoughts like when you're drunk that you kind of like just click? No. Just straight up smooth.
Yeah. Yeah, no. When I'm drunk, it's like more parts of my brain turn off. It's like my brain is already like shut off. Now just like a couple more things turn off, and so it's like, even with like any other substance, I find myself calmer. Which, if anything, it's like, it doesn't. I never had a life-changing experience with any kind of drug of any kind. That includes alcohol, caffeine, and even the regular stuff too, like normal shit. And I never had like a change of lifestyle, change of thought or anything like that because of that. Like, and we said this in a previous episode, anything that changes my thought is because of logic. Yeah. It's like something had to happen physically for me to do it. And that's why I actually don't, I don't smoke. I drink rarely. Well, I don't drink rarely. I drink occasionally, not every day. And it's like, I'm just good the way I am. And so and the way I think is just, I feel like because of that, like because I'm not in any kind of like things like that, and the way I think is like so logically, because it's just like that's just how I'm programmed at this rate.
Right.
So and I'm one of those people that's like, I don't care for arguments. I don't care for debates on political, religious, or any views, because at the end of the day, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Or even privacy views, like the whole thing about privacy, I don't care for either, because it's like at the end of the day, and I realized this a long time ago. I realized this when I was 17, when people around me die. It's like I'm not gonna carry any of this shit with me when I'm dead. It's like I'm a person who died in front of me in a hospital bed, and it's like, all their shit is still at home. Whatever privacy they had is gone now. Whatever thoughts they had is gone now. So it's like at that rate, it's like, why am I holding myself? The
privacy relies in the thoughts that they had.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, what am I holding back at this rate? And it's like, I'm very open book. Like, I don't care, because it's like, there's nothing for me to hide. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna get hit by a car tomorrow, maybe, and that's it. And that's the end of it. So it's like, why am I gonna even bother trying to fake it? Why am I even gonna bother trying to like be somebody I'm not, or say the shit that like I don't want to like say? It doesn't matter at this rate. That's how I think about it. And that's why I'm like, the only reason I have slight problems saying certain stories on here is just because it's way more people that it reaches that I don't know. For me, it's like I have to have a connection with somebody for me to be more open. And it's like, sorry guys, it's like I'm being open with you, but I'm not trying to be open with them. That's the difference. And it's like that in that terms.
That's the society mask.
That's the society. Well, but it's like I'm actually being open. I'm telling real stories. I'm like doing all that. So it's just like I'm only reserving the most intimate parts
for close circle.
Not even close circle, for like it's like a tiny circle. It's like 3 people, but it's like that's the only kind of thing. But everything, even off camera, like I've told you other stories and stuff like that, and without like even saying it. So it's like without even thinking or hesitating. So it's like, it's just one of those things. And that's like no drug involvement, no nothing. It's just how I live life. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna die eventually, and
absolutely,
there's no reason to do otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. I think conscious thought of the idea that you're going to die is probably the most important thing to kind of get familiar with yourself.
Yeah, I feel like that holds people back. A lot of people think they're immortal, and so it's like they have to force upon other people their ideas or views, or they have to like stand for their views.
You know what it is?
And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
I don't think it's because they think they're immortal. I think it's because they're so crushingly defeated by the idea that they're going to die.
Yeah.
That they need to push all these things so they can like live longer than what they're gonna live.
Like it's a legacy.
They want to leave something behind, whether it be good or bad. It's just the idea that they're gonna die is so scary to them.
And just have kids and shut the fuck up.
I mean, but you can do that. But imagine like it goes.
No, I know.
Like they like fuck them kids.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna push those stupid thoughts onto kids.
Yeah.
And then they're just gonna get promoted. And they're gonna think, wow, I did a good job. I started my legacy through shit kids. And it's like, no, you were that scared that you couldn't just process the idea that you're gonna die and like react accordingly and react logically to it.
Yeah.
But I think that's a big thing. The way we interpret death and how we react to the idea of it itself is a big notion for what it is. It's a big notion to learn about yourself.
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable with the idea of death. I've stated multiple times.
Me and you both.
Yeah, I even said like to some degree I romanticize it like way more than I need to.
Yeah, you definitely.
Yeah, like
a little bit more than I do. So
horny as hell for death. But like,
we're gonna get you a big. Girls, he's single, so let's just get him like a goth girlfriend that's involved with death. I think he would enjoy it very much.
I would.
Oh God.
Give me a body pillow, dude, with skulls on it. I'll make a little hole on it.
Oh God. I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
I can't wait. But like, dude, yeah, it's so thing. I started reading a book, Denial of Death, and I haven't gotten into it. I've read like 20 pages, but I have a general idea. And I was talking about it with one of the attorneys because she had to read it for like when she was in university, and we were talking about it. And I was like, yeah, no, I feel like I've always had like this constant, like when I was younger, struggle for like, doing anything to escape the idea of death when I wasn't comfortable with it, like. By any means, if it made like the smallest thing, and it was like my fight back against death.
Yeah.
Like doing all these separate things was like me fighting against it, and then it only came in like maybe maybe high school, when I was just like, hey, does it even matter?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, I'm going to die. Why am I even fighting the idea that I'm going to die? Even subconsciously, why even be bothered by it, you know? Well, subconsciously, you don't even think about it. But consciously, it's kind of like, when I think of it now, it's kind of like for the sake of just I want to explore the concept even more.
Yeah.
It's not like I go, I'm going to die. If you guys can't tell, I'm biting my nails. But it's like, oh, I'm going to die. And it's like, no, it's like, okay, I'm going to die. So where exactly do I end in this whole spectrum of thing, right? Like, where is it that I go? What did I leave behind? And does it even matter if I leave anything behind? Like, I don't necessarily care. I don't need a legacy. I just need to know that I made people around me happy while I could.
Yeah, exactly. Right? That's how I live it. And it's like, and at this rate, it's like whatever, because like, you know what the struggle is, and I said this, it's like everybody has a different point of view on things, and everybody just wants to fight each other.
Yeah.
Oh, you think like that? That's the wrong way of thinking. And it's the same topic as we're saying now. It's like, it's one of those things where, you know, why do you think like that? Like, that's not the right way, or like, that's not.
Oh, yeah. No,
you know what I'm talking.
Finish your thought.
I was gonna say it's like it's stupid. As in, everybody just wants to fight. Nobody wants to like even debate.
Yeah.
They just want to argue, which is different because like me and Anna, we don't argue, we debate. Mm-hmm. Like if we have a topic like that we disagree upon, she says her side, I reiterate and I say my side, and she does the same, and she reiterates, and then we come
like
up to
healthy discussion.
Yeah, and it's a healthy discussion that people don't have anymore. I don't know if that's because of social media or however the world turned out, but there are people that.
Yeah, you know what? This kind of like.
And this is on both sides.
This is like a self-image thing again.
Yeah.
You know what it is? The reason people like to argue is because they take offense when something contrasting comes to the ideas that they express, because they're so like, this is my idea. It's part of me.
Yeah.
And if you disagree with that idea, I'm going to assume that you don't like me.
Yeah.
And I think that's their whole thing. Like, a lot of people use morality and fucking, like, ideas and a lot of the stuff that they do as a means to, like, describe their character as a person.
Yeah.
That's not the case. You know, these are things that should be able to be shifted around and, like, you know, changed over time. As you continue living your life, they should be changed.
Yeah.
That's why discussion is way more important, because that's when you're, like, open-minded and you're able to change these ideas and make yourself better because of them.
Or even compromise and meet somewhere in the middle. As long as you understand the other person's point of view, because that's another important part of the whole thing.
Yeah, but like taking special offense to these kind of like arguments, discussions, or anything of that sort, it reflects more on the person who gets offended.
Yeah.
You know, because at that point it's kind of like you don't know how to separate yourself from the argument.
Yeah.
Because you're too busy getting caught up on the idea that I'm trying to bring you personally down.
Yeah.
When it's not the case at all.
Yeah.
So that's also a big thing. Like the need to be right, especially nowadays, the need to be right has been like stressed so much.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they have like, just because you have the right to an opinion doesn't mean you're right.
That's true.
It just means it just means you have the ability to express something, but as soon as you express it outward to other people online or anything, people are allowed to criticize you.
Yeah.
And if your natural way to combat any kind of criticism is going, I don't give a fuck what you think, that's my opinion, then shut the fuck up. There was no need to express anything, but you clearly don't want to justify anything. You wanted to start an argument because you choose the need to argue. Why? Because you need to work on yourself. So enough of me talking to them.
No, I mean, everything you said is true, and that's like, I feel the same exact way. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and it's funny because it's like, the hottest argument, it's like, oh, people are too sensitive. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I believe that to be absolutely true. Mm-hmm. Everybody, and here's the thing, it's not, oh, the new kids are so sensitive. No. Everybody's too sensitive. Mm-hmm. The older crowd, the middle crowd, the younger crowd, across the board, every single person's too sensitive because, yeah, okay, fine. The newer people, the younger crowd is like too sensitive on certain topics, but the older crowd is too sensitive because it's a different thought than they have. Mm-hmm. And they start looking insensitive because they're saying insensitive shit, but in reality, they're actually so sensitive to it. So it's like,
I agree.
Everybody's sensitive across the board. I truly believe that. It's like, when I hear the argument, it's like, oh, people are so sensitive now. I truly believe yes. Mm-hmm. But then I put
it splits up into categories after that. Yeah.
No, even then, it's like, it's everybody. Everybody's too sensitive.
No, I mean like categories as in like everyone individual is offended by their own thing.
Yeah.
They just don't want to acknowledge it.
Exactly.
Because it makes them look soft.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So it's like, it's just one of those things where it's just like, I'm tired of that. And that's another reason why I just live my life as is. Mm-hmm. And I avoid those kind of arguments with everybody because it's just like, if it's like you or Anna, I don't care because like I know you guys are willing to talk about it. But if it's anybody else, I just completely avoid the topic because I'm just like, I don't even
because a lot of people don't know how to handle the topic.
Yeah.
Is what it is. I like, again, kind of like the way you said earlier, that you kind of try to hear both sides. I'm always that.
Yeah.
I always want to hear both sides of the thing because, you know, people think it's flip-flopping your ideas and stuff like that. It's like, no, you get a deeper understanding for topic when you have conversation, and then you base your own ideas around that. You know, the more information you gather, the more you're able to actually base an actual opinion. If you just put an opinion on the most surface level of things, then what exactly do you have? And what exactly do you benefit the conversation? So, with what you were saying about, I do believe everyone is getting a little too sensitive. And I think a lot of it is because they're too scared to get shunned away by, like, the new society.
Yeah.
And the old society. Yeah. They don't know where they want to fall through because they're too scared of the idea that they're not going to be able to be accepted by anyone, which goes, again, back to acceptance. And everyone's just too soft now. It's either you say something like, yo, bro, just respect their pronouns. Oh, you're a snowflake. Well, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Bro, you got offended by you got offended by me saying they?
Yeah.
Grow up. It's a word.
What does it matter? It's like,
how does it even affect you? Like, oh, I'm not going to change my
vocabulary. I hate that. Why does it affect you? It's like, oh, gay people shouldn't get married. I'm like, why?
Yeah, bro, it's not like you're the one getting married, right? It's
I'm like, they're not going after you. It's like, or, okay, I said this back in high school, and I regret saying this ever, but it's like, how would you feel if, like, a gay guy hit on you? And then I used to say, it's like, or it was something similar to that. It's like, how do you feel about gay people? It's like, I don't give a shit as long as they don't hit on me. But then I didn't know shit.
You grow from that.
Yeah, and I grew up from that. And me growing up, it's like, how do you feel about gay people? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. If anything, they're fun. I don't give a shit. It's like, and they know, and it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, they know what consent is. They're gonna ask me, "Oh, are you into men, or are you into women, or are you into people?" And I'm gonna be like, "Oh, I have a girlfriend. I don't care." And that's, they're respectful. They're people. It's like, they are people. I don't know why people are thinking it's not. I hate that.
Yeah,
but it's like,
it's so weird.
And the other point I was gonna say, it's like, I hate people that are just like, no, they shouldn't get married and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, they're not marrying you. I don't think they want to anyways,
people have
man.
such an issue in not minding their business. And again, I blame social media for that.
No, because it's a lot of people's lives.
Oh, it's that, but it's also, I blame social
media
because.
Look at Texas.
I agree, but the older crowd is on social media, and that's the issue I have, because a lot of that is pushed on them on there too.
I don't know. It's kind of like, because it's to the point where it's like, it's on the Supreme Court level.
Well, yeah.
And I don't know if those people are on social media or not, but this is like, these are the longest debates.
These are the people that are gonna be there. But
and I just feel like it shouldn't be on that level.
It really shouldn't. It's like a basic human right thing.
Yeah.
It's like a super basic human right thing. And it's so weird, like that whole thing, like, how would you feel if a gay person hit on you? I remember I used to always answer, I'm like, bro, don't you go around calling other guys ugly? It's like the same basis.
Yeah.
That means you do find men attractive.
If anything, I'll be like, it would be a compliment.
Yeah, exactly. It's because it is a compliment. The most basic.
A guy comes up to me and hits on me, I'm gonna be like, thank you.
Yeah,
you made my day, but I don't roll that way.
But like, but on the most basic of levels is like, a lot of it, like, again, society itself is like homophobic.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it. Growing up, it was
That's
just homophobic comments all around it. Yeah. Growing up, it was like a lot of homophobic comments, and I used to throw the F word around like it was nothing, like, because I was just predisposed.
No, homo was like the biggest.
Homo was like a big thing. Yeah, and I remember like the first time I had any like pause, like all that shit. But the first time I had any like actual thought about the idea of it was when my friends called me ugly, and you had to come up with a comeback because that's just, you got to get the quick wit out.
Yeah.
So I was just like, so you find men attractive, and they're like, what? And then I'm like, if you find me ugly, then that means there are some guys that you think are cute, right? Because you just you rated me on certain scales.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I ain't gay. And I'm like, you're the one who called me ugly, though. And then after that, it led me to deeper thought. And I'm like, really, what does it matter? We all do these things because on a basic level, I feel like we all acknowledge that some people can be attractive and some people can't be attractive, right?
Oh, no, there are guys who are attractive.
Yeah,
Bradley
absolutely.
Cooper is fucking gorgeous.
I disagree, but okay. Okay.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, Justin Gordon.
Okay, there you go.
He's like a classically handsome dude.
Yeah.
Kind of like Armie Hammer.
Yeah.
Armie Hammer's a handsome dude. But like,
see, it's like, but it's like we're not gay, but we can talk about that. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like it really is. Like, there's nothing. It doesn't represent you saying these things, right? It just, it's like an admittance because we already know what attractiveness looks like, so we're able to rate it on that scale. It's just a normal thing that we do. But I think people just like the idea of arguing, which is why they say certain things after that.
Yeah.
Where it's like no homo because they don't want to be portrayed as this because now everyone's going to see them negatively, and now they think they're going to have to argue against that.
Yeah.
And
I guess it's just a social image then. At the end of the day,
it's all
this,
social image.
It's all social
image and self.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's kind of hard to have both unless you just don't care.
Yeah. You like truly don't care.
I don't know. Weird. It's hard. It's a balance, and I feel like everybody, like including myself, like we all struggle with it still.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a struggle till the end.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like it's just constantly trying to break down barriers within self and like other people and.
God, I'm happy we're in New York. New York doesn't give a shit about anything.
Yeah, no, not at all. But like, yeah.
Imagine if we lived somewhere else.
It'd be weird. I feel like I'd be more closed-minded.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so I don't know. Working on authentic self is one of those important things in life that you're gonna do for the rest of your life. You're right. Like you said earlier, it's like a lifelong thing. And you can only get better every day by doing it every day.
If you choose to.
If you actively choose to do so.
Yeah, but you have to be actively trying your best to.
Every day, like again.
And be open to people's thoughts.
Everything is your action and your thought, and you're able to react accordingly to said action and thought, depending on situation. But it's like always think through it. Yeah. Think through it. Think what would make you the most happiest, and think what would benefit you the most to changing of self. Is all I could really say.
Yeah, keep an open mind. People, everybody's going to think differently from you. And, eventually we're all going to die. So you might as well just do the things that you want, say the things that you want. And why sit around and let other people talk about you and, like, judge you. And it's like, if you have friends, by the way, this goes out to everybody. If you have friends. If you have friends, period. No, but if you have friends that judge you for you being your authentic self, you need new friends. Yeah. Because, like, a true friend...
Wait, unless your authentic self is toxic.
Oh, if you're toxic... Well, no, if you're toxic, you don't give a shit then. Either way, it's like they don't care.
Yeah.
No, but if you're just, like, trying to be your authentic self with your friends and they don't like it or whatever, then just get a new group of friends. Yeah. And that's not an overnight thing. That's easier said than it is done. Mm-hmm. But get new friends. That's really what it is. Like, if people around you are toxic or people around you don't allow you to be yourself, you need to surround yourself in a different environment. So definitely, keep a lookout on different people.
Keep a lookout on people who love unconditionally.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the most important thing. Loving unconditionally is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Not only to give, but to receive. And just whole acceptance.
Yeah.
Because like you said, finding a friend group that accepts you for you, even through your faults and everything, as long as, you're consistently working on them to make yourself better, then, what more do you need?
And that's a relationship. Even with friends, having friends is a relationship. Having a girlfriend or boyfriend is a relationship. These are all relationships. And one thing that is an idea that you guys have to keep in mind across all relationships is basically, like, it's something that you guys have to push each other to make each other better. And it's like us as artists, like, we push our friends who are other artists to be better artists, and that's like something that that's part of a relationship, and we have to push each other. Otherwise, we're not adding to the conversation. We're just becoming everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with that.
So, I think that's gonna be it for today, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's a good part.
Till next time, guys.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning into another video. And again, leave a comment down below for any other topics that you feel the need to be discussed.
Definitely hit the like button, subscribe to our channel.
Yes, and also, I'm proud of all of you. Keep doing what you're doing.
You're beautiful
strong,
people.
You're beautiful. Yep.
You're beautiful people, everybody.
Absolutely.
Get new friends. Till next time. Bye.